All right, let's get this part started. We got a good topic this afternoon, okay? And the topic is the intentionally congruent life. The intentionally congruent life. And what we're trying to do here with this intentionally congruent life is we're trying to build a speaking, coaching, training, leading business that allows us to speak, coach, train, lead in environments that we want to, that are highly lucrative and profitable, and we enjoy these, okay? Now, that's going to be the concept today, right? The intent, how do we build a speaking, coaching, training business that's highly lucrative? And so Sean Vernon messaged me today and said, hey, I'm going to, I got a consulting gig, and it's very important how he structures this consulting gig, because he does not want to structure this in a way that he calls me 6 months from now and says, I want to strangle somebody. Okay. And listen, then I'm going to say, look, well, who structured this deal, right? Who put this deal together that said you were going to do this, 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 and this? And hey, Sean, you're going to move in with them, and they're going to get to call you every morning at 6 o'clock in the morning. And because I have structured in my lifetime, guys, some of the worst deals you could possibly imagine. Okay. And only to get into the deal going, what have I done? Like, you're right. And it didn't matter how much money they were paying me. No matter how much money they're paying, you could suck it up. But at times it's like, what have I done? Like, this is crazy. Right. So today we're going to talk about how to marry what you love doing with this business in environments you love doing it in. Okay. And how to structure this business on the front end the way it needs to be structured so that you actually enjoy it. Okay. The very first thing most coaches do is they say, I want to go out and coach people one-to-one.
I'm so
okay?
over.
Only to figure out that they're miserable, right? They're miserable. And, you know, they've structured a coaching business where it's, you know, very service oriented. They're coaching in environments they don't really enjoy. They become more of a counselor than a coach. And so what we want to talk about today is how do you structure this in such a way that you can do it. Now, the prelude to this is going to be some questions I got to ask you. I called today to check on getting Robert Greene for a retreat next year. Robert Greene wrote the 48 Laws of Power, Mastery, the Laws of Human Nature, 33 Strategies of War. He's a very deep and intense person. You may not even know who he is, but he is a highly respected author that sold millions and millions of copies of his books, and he's a strategist. Okay. And so I'm asking, you know, hey, I'm checking with his agent, and I'm like, how much was it cost? Here's my concept. Come in, do a night, VIP night, and then spend a full day with Robert Greene on the best of Robert Greene. So I want some 48 Laws of Power, some Mastery, some Laws of Human Nature. How much is that, right? And that's the ultimate question. And he said, well, you know, it's at least $30,000 to start, plus $4,000 for his travel. If he's going to do a full day or a day and a half, we're probably looking at $50,000 plus the $4,000 for his travel, and somebody comes with him, you know, and then it's a negotiation. Is this something that you'd like to do, Coach Burt? Now, here's what it got me thinking about you. What do you have that is valuable that you have to say that someone would pay you $50,000 to come in and say? Everybody see that? Like, you got to start thinking, like, what have you done in your life that a person would want to pay to hear it? Right? Okay. Who would pay you 50,000 to come in and speak? So right. So why would somebody bring this guy in? Well, he wrote the 48 Laws of Power. He wrote Mastery. He wrote The Laws of Human Nature. He spends 5 years writing these deep books that bring war and power and strategy and tactic. And, that's what it costs for him to come in and do it. Now, the question is, for me, can I make money with that? I don't want to just give him 50,000. I want to know, can I put a retreat together that we can make 150 and I give him 50 and I keep 100? Everybody see that? But the money's got to come from somewhere. The money's got to come from somewhere to pay him, okay? And if the numbers don't work, they don't work. You don't make any money. You lose money. So it's like a concert promoter trying to make money off an artist. They're banking on you being able to sell tickets. Well, not everybody knows Robert Greene. Not everybody knows he wrote 48 Laws of Power. Some people may not care. Some people may not pay $5,000 to come spend a day and a half with him. Like, you got to be able to sell tickets. And this is a big thing I'm really learning in this business, is that you got to learn how to sell tickets to events. You got to learn to be valuable, okay? And I'm telling you guys, I don't care who it is right now, unless you're a major artist or you're Trump, you're not selling tickets to get this, right? Like, Trump can sell tickets right now because he's so unpredictable. There's no telling what he's going to say. People will pay to show up to see what he's got to say. Okay? But that's, and so I was down in West Palm Beach, this weekend, and Mar-a-Lago, his place is down there, where you got to pay a membership fee just to have access to it. Like, you just don't go stay there like a hotel. You pay a membership fee to go there. Then I went to Michael Jordan's private a restaurant called Thousand North. Then he had a private club upstairs that you pay money, and only the people who pay the private money can go up there to the top, right? After you eat at the restaurant. It's exclusive. So my question to you is, because it got me thinking about it, for me to charge 50,000, what is it that I got to become the number one guy in the world at? What is it that's interesting about what I have to say? How many people would pay it? Okay? Because I'm telling you, I'm on tour right now with Sharon Lecter and Tim Story, and as good as they are, it's still hard to sell tickets to get people in a room to see them. You understand what I'm saying? This is a woman that sold 42 million copies of a book, and we still have a hard time selling tickets for somebody to come in there to see her. So you may think, man, I got a concept, and you're really going to find out how good that concept is and how good you are when you take it to the marketplace and you say, hey, it's $500 to come see me, and you sell half a ticket. Okay. And you're like, well, man, I ain't as good as I thought it was. Right. So how valuable is what you have to say? What is your true expertise? Who does it help and how does it help them? And what kind of money, how does it turn into money for them? Okay. I remember back in the old days, Covey, my mentor, was charging 50, 60, 70,000 to speak because he wrote the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. He wrote something. Maxwell's charging, I was going to do a deal with John Maxwell. They said, John really likes you. We're going to give you a deal. He's going to only do it for you for 80,000, coach. We're going to give you a deal because we really like you. It's typically 100, but he's going to do it for 80 for you. Okay. Now that's 80,000 for the day, folks. Okay. It ain't 80,000 for the year. It's 80,000 for the day. Okay. But the dude's written 75 books and he's built a certification, $150 million, and he don't have to do it. He's in demand. So here's a little exercise I want you to think about. Because some of you, the biggest problem you have is you don't know how to make money with your ideas. You don't know how to make money with your books. You don't know how to make money with your coaching. You don't, right? We're trying to figure out, okay? I've at least figured out how to make $250,000 a month coaching, okay? Now, in comparison to some people, that ain't much, but it's a whole lot more than most coaches, okay? So when you think about this, the monetization of a concept is so critical that you could go years and never figure this out. Okay. How many broke coaches are there in the world? Okay. How many broke financial advisors are there? How many broke, right? Like we don't want you to be that. We want you to learn how to monetize this. So there's an exercise I want you to do. And I want you to really take this exercise serious is I want you to watch the first season of a show called Undercover Billionaire. It's on Discovery. And it's where they take a billionaire and they drop him off in a city where he knows no one. And he only has $100. He can't use his, he has a phone that has no contacts in it. He can't tell people he's a billionaire, and he's got $100. And his goal is to reproduce $1 million in 90 days. Does everybody see that? So he's got to start a business, create a business, add to a business, but he's got to generate $1 million in 90 days. Okay. And literally the first couple of nights he's sleeping in his truck, because this show will force you to get creative about how you generate money. What would you do to generate money? If I said, man, you got to make $1 million in the next 90 days, well, how would you do it? What would you do? I would go to somebody, if the rules let me, and instead of starting something from scratch, I would go to somebody who's already successful and help them make $5 million more and say, can I keep $1 million of it? Right? Like I was thinking about all the ways I would try to generate money. Well, you need to be thinking about ways. If I dropped you off in a city and you knew no one and you had no contacts and you had $100, how would you produce money, guys? You got to start thinking all you have is a concept, and you have got to figure out how to make money with a concept. Who would pay you for the concept? Who would come to see you talk about the concept? How would the concept, right? How would the concept help somebody else? Okay. And just this conversation with Robert Greene's agent today got me thinking about it. How valuable would you have to be to ask for 50,000 for a day? Which I thought was kind of low. I mean, in comparison, I mean, we're talking Robert Greene here. In comparison to some of these other people, right? So that's the prelude to this. Now, let's talk about the difference between branding and marketing. Because I was doing a thing in Miami with a marketing company, advertising company named Inc. Global, and they do all the magazines on airplanes. And their businesses take a significant hit during this period because people haven't been flying. Although I flew from Charlotte to Nashville, and there were people everywhere in the Charlotte airport. When I say everywhere, everywhere. Okay? And I kept thinking about this concept. They were calling on people to sell their advertising services, and they were just trying to, boom, hit them. Lori, would you like to buy this advertising in American Way magazine? And we'll put you in there. We're going to show 17 million people there. Lori, it's $20,000. And I said, you're trying to sell something to people that don't even know who you are, number one. You need to be selling them first on understanding the difference between branding and marketing. Branding is becoming known in the world. Okay? And this is why I wrote the book, Person of Interest. The more known you are, the more opportunity you have. Everybody hear what I just said? And it doesn't mean just leads. It means partnerships, open doors, new possibility. Everybody see that? People who want to do business with you, people who want to be involved with you. Branding is about becoming known. Okay? Marketing is about distributing a message to someone that needs your product or services. Okay? Now, I think I told you this. There was this interview between Jordan Belfort and Grant Cardone, and they have a deep dislike for each other. And I probably watched this interview 100 times. Everybody got caught up in Belfort and Cardone being snippy with each other. I focused on what can I learn from these two guys. Belfort became famous. He became infamous first because he had a movie made about him, The Wolf of Wall Street. Everybody understand that? Because he had a movie made about him, he charges $50,000 to speak. I'm speaking at a conference next week that they paid to do $50,000 to speak. Okay? And he ain't a bit better than matter of fact, I would bet on me versus him any day of the week on that stage. Everybody with me? And they're paying him $50,000. Why? Because he had a freaking movie made about him, of him stealing money from people. and I mean, we live in such a screwed up society that only in America would people worship a dude that took millions of dollars from people. And they made a movie about him. For the love of God, folks. And I'm sitting there going, hey, you're not paying me $50,000 to speak. I got to come speak. Then we're going to share in the money that we make. And it's like, because this dude has a higher status than me because he was in a movie. That's branding, though. So the question is, how do I get a movie? How do I get a television show? How do I get that? How do you get a television show? How do you get a movie? How do you get on the news? How do you get in front of people? How do you become a known person? When Trump ran for president, 96% of Americans knew who Trump was. That is a ridiculous amount of branding. Yes or no? So whether you like him or don't like him, don't matter, man. The dude figured out how to become president because 96% of people knew him because his name's on all these things. So for you, the worst thing you can do is be this great little coach that nobody really knows, and you don't know how to brand yourself. This is just a game I'm learning, okay? So there's branding. And you say, well, how do you become known, coach? Look at what I did this week. I did an event with Steve Sims, who wrote the book Blue Fishing, who's got a speakeasy. Now, he doesn't have a huge following, but he's very well respected in the speaking world. And that gives me credibility. It helps brand me. It helps position me at a higher status, right? Marketing is distribution of a message to people who can pay for it. And we're kind of going through that right now. You see Kara on here. She's managing a project for me because in a few weeks, I'm doing a one-day boot camp called Flip the Switch, and it's virtual. And we're trying to figure out who's my avatar. Who are we trying to sell this to? Who are we trying to direct market it to? How are we trying to get people to the event? Boom, 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 boom. Okay. That's marketing. But if they don't know me, what's the likelihood of them buying a ticket? Now we're going to make the ticket like $57, something ridiculous. Okay. Now, one of the best things that we do, that I think we do, and I really believe we do it as good as anybody in the world, is is called intentional congruence. And intentionally congruence is where you build a coaching business where you are coaching people in environments you love. It is highly lucrative and profitable, and it feeds you versus drains you. Everybody hear that? For years, I have done things, guys, that drained every little cell battery in my body. Everybody hear what I'm saying? And I've sucked it up to make money. I've sucked it up to do the deal. I've sucked it up. But if I had to go back and redesign my business, I would tell you, if I could redesign the business to be very lucrative and profitable and fun and energizing, that is the way I would redesign the business. Okay. Now we signed up 40 to 50 new monster producers this month, and it's only the 15th of the month. Okay. That's an infusion of $50,000 to $60,000 into the business. Upfront cash. Everybody hear that? Everybody hear what I just said? Okay. I see the day that I'm signing up 150 a month. Okay. And that one program is bringing in $2 million a year for me, and it's scalable, and I enjoy it. Okay. So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to make something scalable and fun and exciting, and it feeds you versus drains you. Okay. So let me tell you where this concept of intentional congruence originated. I was a member of the National Speakers Association, and Nito Cobain was speaking. Nito Cobain was an immigrant that came to the United States, became incredibly successful. He's now the president of High Point University in High Point, North Carolina. And I think it's probably if I was sending my kid to one university in the world, it'd probably be High Point. It's the most entrepreneurially minded university in the country. Each month they force the kids to get dressed up. They have a steakhouse on campus. They have to go to a business dinner as part of their tuition. They have to dress up and go to a business dinner once a month as part of their learning. It's very entrepreneurially minded. And Nito Cobain was the president of High Point while simultaneously multi-million-dollar real estate investor, while simultaneously the chairman of the Great Harvest Bread Company. He was involved in all these high-level things. And he mentioned a word at one of his talk called intentional congruence. He said intentional congruence is where everything feeds everything. Your speaking business feeds your coaching business feeds your retreat business feeds your, right? And it all feeds everything, and it's fun, and it's exciting, and it's engaging, and you look forward to it. Okay. So I'm on a cruise, and I notice on the cruise, they are talking about, they're doing financial seminars on the cruise. And I'm like, okay, let me go sneak into one of these financial seminars. Number one is a bunch of older folks, and they had a little financial advisor on there that was doing a presentation about where to put money. And I'm sitting in the back and I'm going, man, we're out at sea. The dude's up there teaching, he's trying to sell his product. But I like this concept. I like cruising. I like inspiration. How do I build a coaching business to coach in environments I love, with people I love doing it with, and it's highly lucrative and profitable? Okay, that's the concept. So you got to ask yourself, what do you love doing? Well, I love learning. I love learning. I love inspirational places. I love coaching people. What if I could coach people in inspirational places? Everybody see that? If you want to know why I bought the property, the lodge that I own, why I bought the property in Florida, I'm looking for places to intentionally, congruently coach people. Okay. So I own the real estate, control the real estate, and I can do the events there. So that was the question I asked. How do I coach at places I learn, inspirational places, doing what I love doing with people I love doing it with? Did everybody hear that? You don't want to be locked up on an island with a bunch of people you don't like. Okay. You don't want to be coaching people. You want to attract the right kind of person. So then I said, what if we started doing stuff on cruises? So I started 10 years ago doing coaching summits on cruises. And my first one had 4 people show up. But the one I did last year had 100 people show up. Right? Isn't it cool? We coach for a little bit. We cruise. We hang out. That was highly profitable, by the way. The cruise was one of the most profitable things I did last year. There's big profit in cruises. Right? Everybody see that? All I'm doing is taking my coaching out there. So my concept is, here's how we do it. Number one, we create a concept. All right. I'm going to take this concept of scale with speed. That's a retreat we're doing here in a few weeks in Vero Beach, Florida. The concept is, how do you scale something with speed? So it's for people that are small that want to be big. That's the concept. I go partner with people that I think know how to scale something. Matt Monero, Judge Graham. Judge Graham wrote the book Scale with Speed. I grabbed the concept and I called them and I said, look, I want to do this retreat with you guys in Vero Beach, Florida, very high-end part of Florida, right down from West Palm. And we're going to spend 3 days down there coaching people. We're going to do some cool things, private dinners, maybe go out on a yacht, go over to the country club. We're going to make it very experiential, right? And I'm going to charge $6,000 for this retreat. And for the $6,000, you're going to get the rooms, VIP dinner, and the coaching. Okay. Now, I start nailing it down. Date, location, economics. I get the date, I get the location, I get the economics. And I go, okay, how much do we have to pay these 2 guys? Well, we got to pay these 2 guys $12,500. That's their speaking fee, $12,500. What do I get out of this, Sean Vernon? Now let's start thinking, because this is the way you guys got to start thinking. What do I get out? What do I get out of this?
Well, I think you get to be around a couple of big time people. So I think you get to work with some great people. You're getting, obviously, your speaking fee for being there for the several days and speaking. You get to enjoy Vero Beach, which is not so bad.
Here's what I'm getting. I'm getting to learn from 2 of the best guys in the world for free. Right? We go out and sell this to the market. The people we sell it to are going to pay for my trip, airfare, hotel, food. Plus, I'm going to get 2 days with 2 of the best guys in the world at scaling. You think that's going to be valuable to me? Yes or no?
Absolutely.
Plus, we're going to make some money. If there's a spread, if there's enough people. So let's say we make $25,000 in profit off the event after I've gone to Vero, which is a beautiful place to vacation, after I ate for free, flew for free, and I got 2 days of coaching. Now, if we went to Dallas, Texas, and Sean Vernon said, I want to sign up for this deal with Matt Monero and them, it's $5,000 or $6,000 to spend 2 days with them at their Burn the Ships. I'm getting their whole event in a place I want to do it with people I want to do it with. Guess what? It's all paid for. Isn't that a cool concept? Yes or no? And what if I made $25,000 on top of it? Would that be a good weekend? Yes or no? How many of y'all last time you went on vacation, they gave you $25,000 to go on vacation? Everybody, y'all follow me? Y'all looking at me like I flew in from space today. You understand where I'm going here?
Because that statement was space. So
Okay.
it was like, we're all laughing right now.
Okay. All right. Here's my point. Why would I partner with Robert Greene, who's the #1 guy? Because I want to study human nature. He is the best at human nature. Okay. If I could spend 2 days with Robert Greene and other people pay for it, and I make 25 or 30,000 of profit, why wouldn't I do it? Plus, it raises my status. Coach Burt and Robert Greene are doing something together. That's the branding I'm trying to get you to understand. Everybody with me? So when I talk about intentional congruence, now let me throw it to another step because it just gets better. My wife loves the hospitality side of the retreats. She gets to do what she loves doing, which is come in, handle the hospitality, be involved in her way. I get to come in and coach and learn. We get to do it in a cool environment. Everybody see where I'm going with this? But you got to have a concept, and you got to market the concept, and you got to sell tickets to the concept. Okay? And I've had some of these that I've lost money on. It's like a promoter. Okay? So let me give you an example of a package I'm working on right now because I'm trying to teach you guys how to intentionally convert. Now, let me say this. Jamie Hull, I love coaching people in groups. I don't like coaching people one-to-one. I don't like coaching people I don't like or don't appreciate the coaching. I don't like not making any money. I don't like working hard for no money. I like group settings where I can just go. I like speaking at big events because it's like a concert to me. There's a lot of hype and energy. Okay? So I like speaking and I like coaching in private group settings where I'm teaching a concept I've developed over the last 15 or 16 years, one of my books, or I'm teaching Pray Drive, or I'm teaching something. That's a form of coaching. That's what I love doing. Now, if you were coaching me, you'd say, design your whole business where you could speak to drive leads and coach people in group settings in environments you want to do it in. How many of y'all would tell me that? Yes or no? Okay. What you would not tell me is, hey, go out there and coach people one-to-one, coach, and be a counselor and be miserable. Okay. That's what you would, if you were coaching me, you'd say, okay, what do you love doing? How do you love doing it? Where do you love doing it? Who do you love doing it with? And how do we make money doing it? That's what you would tell me. Okay. So let me give an example. I'm working on a new package called the Monster Tycoon. Notice how I give it a unique name. It is $40,000 a year, which means it's, 3 payments of $13,000. It is 4 private retreats with me and some of my good friends in unique locations around the world, right? Unique places. Boom, boom, boom. It gets 20 people in my coaching program, Monster Producer. So if you got a team, you can get 20 in. That's going to help you justify the 40K, right? It's exclusive to just 40 people. I'm only taking 40 people. So you get me, 3-day retreats, cool locations around the world. If you got a team, you get 20 of your people in. They could even help you pay for it. If I do that, let's do the math on that. 40 people at 40,000, how much do we generate?
$1.6 million.
1.6 million. Now, we've made 1.6 million to do what, John Burt? Coach people where?
Group settings and exotic places around the world.
Who paid for it?
They do.
So I get to do what I love. Like I was in West Palm Beach. If you want to find some money, just go down to Jupiter, Florida, folks. Okay. Within 10 miles, you got Tiger Woods and Michael Jordan. You got some of the richest people in the world are in West Palm Beach, folks. Okay. So follow the money. Okay. And West Palm's a cool place. It's cool. Here's my point. Let's say I'm going to do West Palm. Let's say I'm going to do a cool city, Scottsdale. Let's say I'm going to do boom, this city. And I go to people and I say, look, this is only for 40 people, upper echelon, big time cats like you. It's $40K a year. That includes your stay, right? Includes a VIP dinner, includes the coaching. Okay. 1.6 million. Let's say it cost me 500,000 in expenses. It won't, but let's just say it did. I still made $600,000. Jamie, would you take $600,000 to travel around the world, coach people in unique settings? Yes or no?
Yes, let's go.
Okay, good. Now, here's my point. What I'm trying to do is open your mind up to how to build an intentionally congruent coaching business that can be highly lucrative and profitable. Took me years, guys, to figure this out. Yesterday at Steve Sims' event, he charged $2,000. It was 2 days in Nashville with him and his friends like me. And he took them on all these cool things. He gave it a cool name. It's a speakeasy. You have no idea what you're doing. You have no idea who's going to be there. You have no idea where you're staying. Basically, you pay $2,000. You come to Nashville. And when I got finished last night, he was taking them to do axe throwing. Then they brought in a major country music person to teach them why country music was so popular. Then they brought in me as a coach. And for 2 days, you spend time with big time people at this speakeasy for $2,000. Let's say he brings in 80. Let's say it cost him 30, if that. Probably didn't cost that much. He makes 50. Okay. He brings in people like me to do it for the exposure. And he made $50,000 to come to Nashville and hang out with 40 people that he likes. Everybody see that? It's real simple. It ain't simple, but it seems simple. Okay. It's real simple. It's simple, but it ain't easy. Now let's go back to the very first point, and I'll kind of end on this one. Who would pay to come spend 2 days with you? And what would they learn? And how much would they pay? You may have to start off. I'm coaching a young lady in California. She's starting off with a 2-day retreat that's, $697. You don't have to start off at, $10,000, folks. You just need to learn how to do what I'm teaching you to do here, which is have a concept, get people to a concept, build an intentionally congruent business that feeds your life versus drains your life. All right. It's going to be easy for me to go to my wife and say, hey, we're going to West Palm and we're going here and we're going here. We're going to an island in Mexico. I'm going to do a little bit of coaching each day. We're going to hang out with some cool folks. We're going to make $50,000 to go do this. Sound good to you? That's how we do it. Now, let me take it even further. If you own the properties like I do, then it becomes even more profitable because you own the property. So my coaching company pays my real estate company to rent back from my own self. So Micheal Burt Enterprises pays my coaching company, I want to say $150,000 a year in rents to use the lodge. Okay. So so everybody see what I'm doing there? Okay. So when you own the properties, it becomes even more profitable to you because now you're feeding the rent. So we go to Florida and do a thing. We pay the house first. We pay the house rent. That's part of the deal, but it's paying us because we own the house. So this is one of the cool things I think that we've really figured out is how to just put on events. Now, why does Tim Story and Sharon Lecter and all these people come to us and say, hey, you guys know how to do it? So why don't y'all do it? Why don't y'all help us do it? It ain't that complicated, folks. It just takes a concept, a date, some economics, and you got to sell the tickets. The concept's got to solve a problem for people. Okay. All right. Let's stop there and take some questions. What questions do you have? This is called the intentionally congruent coaching business or intentionally congruent life. Go ahead, Sean.
So how would you structure that deal, Coach?
Well, I think when you're structuring a consulting deal, you got to step back and ask yourself these questions. I think I told you guys this, but I asked a mortgage company, last week for $500,000 for me to be their coach. I don't know if I told you this or not, but I did. Okay. And I should have asked for $1 million, but I asked for $500,000 to be their coach. And here's what I got to be careful of, Sean. I don't want to sell all of my time because I'll be capped. So what I got to say is, for the $500,000, here's what you get. Okay. I'm going to have my Greatness Factory here. I'm going to be down here when I'm in town. One day a week, I'm going to be here at the Greatness Factory. I'm going to subdivide your people. I'm going to coach these people, but I'm going to structure the deal in a way that I'm still coaching people in groups and not one-to-one. That makes sense? And I'm going to get a win and they're going to get a win. In the old days, I would just say, man, 500,000, whatever you need me to do, I'll do it. Oh, well, we need you to coach all the problem people. We need you to go to here, and we got 7 underperforming branches that we need you to go to, right? And I'm going to these branches in the middle of nowhere, coaching these people that would never win in a million years. They couldn't bring in Superman to help them, right? And it's miserable and it don't work and it looks like it ain't working. And I got to be careful not to get myself into something that I go, man, this is miserable. Like, I don't want to do this. Not even for 500,000. I don't want to do it. You understand where I'm going with this? So I think you got to ask yourself, where are you good at? What do you want to do? Do you like doing things in a redundant manner? Like my buddy Cardone, he hates doing anything that's redundant. He hates coaching people in a redundant manner where they come back again and again. He wants to do big events, make a lot of money at one time. Now, here's what's interesting. During COVID, he pivoted to 8-week mentoring programs where he had to come back week after week after week and do something that he hated doing. But he did it to generate $1 million at a time. Everybody see that? So for you, I looked at what he was doing. I go, I could do that. Okay. I go out and do a webinar. I get people from the webinar to a coaching program. Okay. What I found by doing this mentoring with you guys is I actually enjoy it. I enjoy the mentoring because it's with people who want to be here. Right now, Sean, what you get into with companies is they're paying you to come in and coach these people. They may not want your coaching. I've gone into completely hostile environments. I've gone into companies where they were openly resistant toward me. I've gone in there and had all out war. The CEO's bringing me in. He's like, I need you to change all these duds and get them going. And it's an all out war, man, between me and them. Like, I spoke at an event literally a couple months ago, and I thought one of the dudes was going to try to come up and punch me in the face. Like, they resisted me. These were little small time players. They resisted me so much, it almost became combative between me and them. Because I'm like, you are a little baby fish in the world. You know, I don't understand why you're not more humble.
I don't think they resisted you. I think they resented you.
Yeah, maybe so.
That's, you know.
They did both. They resented it and they resisted it. I still got paid. But if you ask me, hey, if he come back and said, man, I want you to coach these guys for the next 6 months, I'd be like, no. Heck no, I'm out. Okay, I'm not coaching these people. I don't want to coach these people. So I think, Sean, you got to step back and say, this is my first big consulting gig, so I need to do it. But I also need to be careful of how I structure it in a way that puts me in my strength zone. And I don't sell my soul to the devil. Okay, that's what I would tell you if I was coaching you on that. And I would tell you, I didn't ask for enough money from the mortgage company. The $500,000 is not enough for what I'm going to be doing. I'm just going to tell you, I should ask for $1 million. And you say, well, how do you ask for $1 million? This is simple. If I could help them make $10 million more, getting $1 million of it's a small piece of the equation. Okay. So I think I undersold myself, to be honest with you. But to this point, $500,000 is the most I've ever asked a company to pay me. So it was a big jump. The most I'd ever asked for before was $350,000. So for me to ask for $500,000, I'm like, man, I'm asking for a lot of dough here. And then I said, it'll be $500,000. And they looked at me and said, yeah, okay. Give us a couple of days to put it together. And I'm like, dang, woo, should have asked for $1 million. God, what was I thinking? Now, here's my point though. You don't know that until you get in the room, right? Like, I was a little nervous asking for $500,000. Okay. So that's a consideration, man. I got to get rid of that. I'm thinking too small. Okay. All right. What other questions do you have?
So you're talking about this, you know, secular thing of where do you start? Where's where's the, and I know you hate bluegills, but where is the little bluegill opening that
Great
leads you to that big marlin? So in other words, I'm having lunch, you know, like I thought about, you know, inviting people, saying I'm buying everybody lunch. We're gonna, you know, meet for an hour. This is the presentation. So is that kind of an idea of I have that I was thinking about as far as opening that door? Of course, today I also did my first TV ad segment, so I'm really excited about that.
Well, here's what I would tell you. If I was starting all over, the little bluegill way to start this is to push people to something for free or very low ticketed.
Right.
Okay. And we're doing something similar with the comeback tour with Tim Story and Sharon Lecter. It's $2.99. Right. And then you get them there and you let them, I call it taste the ice cream. You let them taste it and they like it. And then you have something else that they can come to, Lori. So maybe it's free, or it's, hey, I'm doing a group, I'm doing a mastermind. Hey, it's a 4-week program, or it's a 1-night deal. And then you have something to push them to that's a little bit higher, right? So it's free to $9.97 or free to $4.97. Then you have a $4.97 to, okay, I have this, that's $1,000. You follow what I'm saying? That is the way I would do it if I was going back again.
And that's what I, you know, I was like talking about doing this. It's a free deal. Even having, like, you know, sandwiches or whatever brought in, a small investment to bring people into the room. You know, I learned a long time ago, you know, people often talk through their stomachs. So if you offer them a little bit of food, they come, they listen, and then with that, have that, like you're talking about, that 4-week segment set up and have it be inexpensive. Just start somewhere.
Now, let me show you something to Lori's point. I have ideas all the time, and this is an example of an idea that I'm doing next week. Here, I'm doing this SOS.
Oh, God, yes.
Okay. Now, I had an idea one day that a lot of small businesses are struggling. We coach small business owners. And I said, man, I want to help the small business owner. So I come up with a concept. I'm talking to my marketing team, and it's like, save the small business. Really what I did for this F45 is I saved that small business. In the very first month with them, they had the very first month I coached them, they had the highest number of members they've ever had, 41 members during the COVID period. Why? Because I know what I'm doing, and they didn't know what they were doing. Right? So here's the deal. I said, how do I replicate that with businesses around the country, Lori? What can I do for businesses everywhere? Okay, I'm going to do a small business night. It's going to be live at the Greatness Factory, but we're going to live stream it. We're going to simulcast it around the world. Then I go out and market it. So if you go to my Facebook page, right? If you go to my Facebook page, there's what you see. I give a little story. When I took a position at F45, I began implementing strategies that would help them have the biggest month of their business with 41 new members. If you're a small business owner, a fresh set of eyes may be all you need from somebody. Everybody see that? Then I build a graphic. Here's the graphic. Got a little countdown. Small business SOS. We're trying to get attention on local news. The morons at the news department want to cover the same thing over and over. Okay. If I said somebody was going to shoot somebody at this event, they would probably cover it. Now, here's my point. We're trying to get attention in the local news. Coach Burt trying to save the small business owner in America. Okay. So to be here, boom. To watch it live takes you right to that page. This is a Zoom that I've been showing you guys throughout the week, right? And the Zoom captures information. Your name, phone number, job title, organization. What are we going to do with that information? So if I was Lori Stye, I come up with something just like this. Boom, push you to something, capture information. Then I get people on there, Lori, right? Then I get people to my webinar. And then I always have an offer. I never do anything that I don't have an offer to. Never. So it's like, if you're here tonight, I'm running a special. I want to help you.
Sit down.
Boom. Take action on this. Everybody see that? And a percentage of them will take action. Well, what happens, Lori, when I start getting this is a formula that I've kind of cracked that I'm trying to teach y'all. What happens when I start getting 50 and 60 at a time and I'm bringing in 60,000 a night? Kevin Jones, you think we could eat a nice steak down at Jeff Ruby's on 60,000?
Yes, sir.
Here's my point. That's where I'm going. And I'm trying to show you how to go there. Okay? Because I'm telling you, I did a big thing on Saturday of last week for 2,000 Optavia coaches. Then I turned around and did something for 250, and we have had 50 to 60 new monsters from those webinars. That's 60,000 infusion of capital into the business. Boom, in less than a week. So this is a formula that I'm onto, and it took me a little bit to kind of figure the formula out, but I'm trying to get you to replicate it even on your own scale. Okay, you may not have all that in place, Lori, the 997. Now what we do, and I'll show you, so Kara creates the back end of this. And so we create a funnel or a landing page. And the landing page is Monster Producer. It's no different than a normal landing page, but it's not public. And then we show right there, it's typically this, and boom, it's this. Everybody see that? Take action. Yes, I'm ready to enroll. Boom. Now, as soon as you take action on that, it asks you if you'd like to come to a Flip the Switch boot camp. And the Flip the Switch boot camp is adds $500 to it. So while they're there, a lot of people just bump up and add $500 to the deal. Okay. Now, I'm showing you guys this because this is a great formula. Give, 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 ask. Give value, give value, give value. Always have an offer. Hey, if you like this and you want to go deeper with me, boom. And then I really am to the point where you need to make it so freaking ridiculous that they can't say no. They just go here. Here's $997. You know, some of those will pay $997 and I will never see them again the rest of their life. Y'all realize that, right? They'll pay the money and never show up one time, which is why you want to collect the money up front. Okay? So I got time for one more question. Make it a good one.
Coach, let's say we're starting from the very beginning. We have no credibility, never run an event. What I heard was, what do you know that's worth listening to? How does it help them? And how much would they pay?
Yep.
If you've never started anything and you're starting your marketing, what else would you do in addition to that?
Well, you're not starting your marketing, you're starting your branding. Branding comes before marketing. See, if Michael Cutbrith wants to sell his books, it ain't about marketing. It's about, he needs to become known to a group of people.
The brand.
First. You first become known. Oh, you're known for what? Dave Ramsey is known for what? Debt free, whatever he's known for. Debt free. Robert Kiyosaki's known for Rich Dad Poor Dad. Kiyosaki, Cardone's known for 10X. Sam Taggart, where I'm going tomorrow to Jackson Hole to speak to these door-to-door folks, he's known as the door-to-door expert. You first become known for something. Then you market. And this is where all the videos I do, all the podcasts I do, all the speaking engagements I do is really, it's not marketing, it's really branding so people know who I am. So for you, you got to say, this is my message and I'm going to take this puppy to the market. I'm going to do videos and podcasts and anything I can do to get in front of people. Right? That's what I'm going to be doing. I got to become known, man. Here's the deal. I actually believe that we generate, and I may be wrong about this. I don't know how much Steve Sims generates in his coaching business, but I actually believe I generate more than he does. But he's got more star power than I do. Everybody see that? So what's the problem there? My problem ain't a marketing problem, Michael and James. My problem is a branding and becoming known problem. Right? Which is why I'm trying to get a television show and trying to get big things and trying to, you understand what I'm saying? Like, I need to be known. Okay? If you can crack that code, man, then it's on, man. Then it goes from X number of millions to big time millions. Everybody see that? Okay. So Every big star was once a little star that wanted to be big. Okay. The best thing I did was write my first book. The best thing I did is get on my first stage. The best thing I ever did was get started. Now, we have people that will help you write the book. We have people that'll coach you on writing the book. Because once you have the book, now you have a message. Now, Michael, what do we need to do? We need to go out, bless you. We need to go out and get attention, which is the hard part for people, getting the attention part, right? I'm constantly thinking, man, what can I do to get some attention? What can I do to get in front of people? What can I do to, this SOS thing is a goodwill intention thing. How do I have a good intention? How do I get to attention? Because without attention and intention, don't matter. No matter how good the book is, don't matter how good the product is, don't matter how good the coaching is. It just don't matter. Okay? So if you came to me today, my daughter is on this kick where she's watching The Greatest Showman. She's watched it like 100 times. You know, the book, the show about P.T. Barnum. And I'm asking her on the way to school the other day, what is P.T. Barnum really good at? And she's like, well, he's good at getting people to the circus, Dad. I'm like, that's right. That's right, sister. Because that is the name of the game, getting people to the circus. Okay? How many of you think you need considerable work here? Right? I guarantee you, if I brought Michael Cutbrith a plan to take him to a national and international person and an expert in his field, he would say, Coach, it don't matter how much it is if you can do it. I've told my marketing people, man, if you can make me famous, what does it matter? I know I'll make millions of dollars if I become famous. You know who's going to be on Undercover Billionaire next? Cardone. He just shot the show. He's been trying to get a television show for the last 10 years. And he's the next Undercover Billionaire. They just did, right? It's on Discovery, the show I'm having you watch. Cardone is going to be the next one. And he's been trying. Now, why would a guy who's got 6 million people follow him be dying to get on television? Because he knows that you can get 2 to 3 million at a time on television.
And he'll have 12 million following him.
That's what I'm saying. He knows that, which is what we need to know. Okay.
Yeah.
So start with the local news. I'm trying to get the local news to cover my little SOS event. Okay. If I told them there's going to be some drama or a riot, they'd probably show up with the news cameras. If I tell them, hey, we're actually going to help people get better over here, they're like, oh, we don't want to cover that. We ain't interested in people get better. All
Small
right, guys.
businesses clawing each other's eyes out.
Yeah. Hey, there you go.
Come join us.
Cage match at the Greatness Factory between the small business owners. All right, guys, thank you for a good session. I hope this was a good session for you. I think it was a really good session. Okay. Yeah, David, I see that. I saw that email. We're working through that and we'll get back to you on that. So thank you for sending it. Guys, thank you for a great day. I appreciate you. I love mentoring this group. I really, really do. I know I'm going to see some of you here in a few weeks at the $1 Million Coaching Summit at the Lodge. And I'm very excited, very, very excited about seeing you. Spending 2.5 days with me, I'm telling you, man, will be a game changer for you. It's an incredible experience. You will walk out of there with clarity and focus like you can't imagine, and you're going to be so on fire. I'm telling you, we could do 100 of these sessions, but nothing will compare to being in a room with me for 2.5 days, breaking this stuff down. I'm telling you, the camaraderie of it will change everything. So if you've not signed up for the Coaching Summit and you want to, okay, Kara's on here with you. Just see her and she can help you get signed up for it. I know we've got 30 to 35 people that have signed up. So it'll be a good group, a good intimate group. And man, it'll just be very powerful. So thank you guys for a great session and we'll see you next week. And have a great day. I'm gonna go home and see my 14-week-old or 16. I don't know. He's getting chubby. I got to go home and we're gonna work out a little bit. All right. See you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Have a good one.
Coach.